Good afternoon. My name is Darcie McElwee, and I'm the United States Attorney for the District of Maine. After 2 decades of working as a federal prosecutor in the courtroom, I am now in the first leadership role of my career as Maine's Chief Federal Law Enforcement Officer. But most days, I introduce myself as a girl from Caribou with a really cool job. I was appointed to this position in the fall of 2021 by President Biden as a member of the most diverse class of U.S. attorneys in the history of the Department of Justice, which is the federal agency for which all U.S. attorneys work. Attorney General Merrick Garland is the highest-ranking leader at the Department of Justice as a member of the President's cabinet. AG Garland has an advisory committee, the AGAC as it's known, which advises him on matters of policy, procedure, and management impacting U.S. attorneys' offices throughout the country. It is comprised of 12 U.S. attorneys. Of the 12 members of that committee, I am the only white woman. It is an incredibly exciting time to be serving the state of Maine, the Department of Justice, and our country in this role. However, it is those very responsibilities that keep me from being in person with you all today to celebrate at the 9th Annual Leadership Luncheon. I am honored to share with you how I got here, what lessons I learned along the way, and to offer, I hope, inspiration as you embark on or continue your own personal journeys to leadership, and or as you lean in to support the future leaders of Maine through the Institute's program. Nobody ascends to an appointment like this alone, certainly not a divorced mom of twin 6th graders. I am blessed to have extraordinarily thoughtful, talented, creative, and generous family, friends, and colleagues. Let me tell you just a bit about my journey to this position. I was raised in Aroostook County, specifically Caribou, which, consistent with its reputation, introduced me to the value of maintaining self-awareness and a strong character, work ethic, and sense of community. I am no doubt the first U.S. attorney who worked for years in an actual potato field. As a result of being from Caribou and it being on the edge of the Canadian border, teenage girls like me were introduced to the rest of Maine by traveling as athletes, musicians, artists, scientists, or scholars. We were raised in an environment of positivity and gratitude. Like so many of Olympia's leaders, I had strong role models and mentors in high school and later as a young woman. These mentors instilled in me values and ideals that are deeply rooted in who I am and how I now lead as U.S. Attorney. My peers and I were supported to make choices that made us feel happy, proud, and strong. We were encouraged to pursue our interests and desires. Being a member of such a close and supportive community from a young age taught me to value loyalty, integrity, and reliance on others. That strong sense of belonging and community is why I have always loved being from and living in Maine. But my experience as a young woman growing up in Maine was far less complicated than that of our youth today. As U.S. Attorney, I sadly see the darkest parts of our society. As a result of our increased use of and reliance on technology in today's world, the environment in which our youth are growing up changes nearly every day and exposes them to the information not always suited for a developing mind and heart. Our young people have access to the world's happenings, good and bad, like never before, and it is difficult for the adults hoping to be a positive and supportive influence for them to keep up. Youth in Maine today are constantly bombarded with images from around the globe, images which are often heavy and create pressures and anxiety that are difficult for even adults to manage. And as a result of the pandemic, which increased isolation and use of technology for our youth, our young people are more vulnerable than ever to exploitation and dangers online, which go far beyond the issues of my generation, like waning self-esteem and self-doubt typically seen during teenage years. This reality is what makes me so pleased to see programs like the Olympia Snow Women's Leadership Institute making a real difference, stepping in and offering opportunities for Maine's youth to feel protected, supported, and encouraged at such a pivotal time in their lives, so they may go on to be our next leaders in this state. I decided to pursue the first leadership role of my career because it felt like the right job for me at a critical time in my personal life and our nation's history. After just 2 years in this position, I believe one of the most important things I've done as a new leader is to acknowledge that I don't know everything. I have a great deal to learn. I know that I listen more as a leader than I ever did before, and I ask others to join me in doing so. Earning trust and confidence from your team is the key, whatever your mission. I have also learned that a good leader is gracious and generous with praise for others. A team is always going to be more successful if each member feels seen and valued. As the second woman and first mother in this role in Maine, I hope to spend time during my tenure finding avenues to draw more women to leadership roles within the Department of Justice, in Maine and beyond. In my experience, women bring a completely different but important perspective to leadership roles. Gender-diversified collaboration can be a truly effective model when you have the support of your male colleagues, as I have throughout my career. I am certain that many of the male leaders in attendance at today's luncheon are such colleagues. Thank you for your support of the future of women in leadership in Maine. I understand that several of Olympia's leaders are also in attendance today. I have a special piece of advice for all of you. It is the toughest thing to do at times, that is to believe in and be yourself. The pursuit and achievement of successful leadership is powerful, exciting, and rewarding, and it's also at times exhausting, frightening, and lonely. The best advice I can give any leader is to be authentic. Taking on a leadership role no doubt requires confidence, but more importantly, it requires faith that you are where you are meant to be, or at least on the journey to get there. Believe in yourself. Commit to goals that inspire and excite you, and be disciplined. Most importantly, I hope you know how proud we are of all of you. From the adults in your life and your community, please know that we believe in you. And if you struggle with a hard decision, know that there will always be a trusted adult in your life, perhaps a mentor from the Olympia's Leaders Program, who will be there to help you find your path. It's safe to say that any of you in attendance at today's luncheon are involved with the Institute because you want to help people and make a difference in your communities and your state. I chose to pursue this position and a career in public service because I want to make a difference. I will work every day to find ways to do better. I will be brave, I will hustle, and I will surround myself with those who challenge and inspire me, those who elevate me and my work in every regard. And I encourage all of you to do the same, because when you do, the future of Maine's leaders will reflect it. Thank you so much for including me in this inspirational event today.